Greetings. Today I would like to demonstrate how to play openings for white if you just start playing chess recently. And you learn, also I imagine that a player learn how to move all pieces, but he doesn't know how to play openings. And in this case, players do anything. Okay, maybe they can play f3, and I just suggest that one engine, rather strong engine, play against me, and I play some way. Okay, e4 or f3. Okay, maybe I play e4, and now I play something knight h3. It's very common move for white. Okay, this black suggests me to change. I change. Okay, took my knight, and I don't want to make simple mistakes like blunders. Op. I just take everything I can, and already check, and the king needs to move. Oops, and the king already needs to move to the center. Check. Okay, I'll take. The king moves somewhere else. Check. The king has only one position to move, and it is a checkmate already. So notice even one glance to this final position can tell you that white never played before. So I try to imitate a player who never played before. Why? Because the queen side is not developed. So the queen side is the same as before. The king side is developed a little bit, but not very well. So I develop my knight to h3, which is unusual, and pawn f3 actually leads to the check by the black queen. And in general, the bishop is not on f1 is not developed, rook is not developed, but I got a checkmate in the middle of the chessboard. So this is how you know that a player doesn't know how to play and never played before. Now let's change that, and I'll show you what to do. The first move should be e4. So it's a very good move, and most players play that way. It doesn't matter that everybody plays that way, so everybody knows. The idea of the beginner to survive as long as possible. So if I take into account that I need to survive and make as many moves as possible in the game, then I should play that way. Okay, the opponent probably play e5. Very common move. And so notice when I play e4, I open the queen, so the queen can move and control the squares on the white diagonal, but the queen shouldn't move in the beginning of the game. Queen should control and protect the pieces around which it can control. So for anything on the control squares. So the queen controls these 4 squares around. It means that, and also the king, it can support the king, protect the bishop, also these 2 pawns, d2 and c2. And it's enough for now. You don't need to move the queen, because if you move the queen to the third line, to g4, it will be attacked immediately by the bishop. So the queen needs to run and you waste time. So keep the queen on the first line, on its original position at the beginning. So what you need, bishop can develop. However, in our setup, we should develop the knight first. Knight f3 is a very good position for the knight in most openings. Therefore, knight f3 is good position. It attacks the pawn. e5, it can control all pieces around. The black protects the pawn. And now you see that the knight control all the circle. g5, h5, h4. e5, d4. So control the circle around it. So, and position for the knight f3 is very good. So the next move, we need to develop the bishop. We need to continue to develop pieces. And as soon as we develop pieces, they will start attacking the black pieces. So we need to do a hunting. One of the temptations is to play bishop here, but I don't want to start this game because this is very advanced, more advanced games than we expect. So we don't move that way. You can, and the idea, of course, you can take the knight, but black will protect, and so it will be equal game in any case. So you don't need to think that if you take the knight, so you will win the position immediately. It's a mistake to think that way. So we don't play a3 because we lose the bishop. We don't play e2 because the bishop will not attack anything, and the position of the bishop should be good in attack. Bishop d3 is bad because bishop blocks the pawn, d2, bishop, another bishop, and the rook. So it blocks the entire queen side if you develop it to d3. So it's a very bad move. Very big mistake. So the good position c4. In c4, the bishop control two diagonals already, and it's good for you because you can take pieces on two diagonals right now. And it also controls the position of f7, so in some case you can take the pawn and attack the queen or king. For instance, if you play knight g5 and h3, you can take the pawn and also the bishop. So the king now cannot take the knight because bishop protected, so the queen and rook will be in trouble. So if black moves the rook or queen, you take the rook. If they move the rook, you can take the queen. So this name's fork, and fork is very good idea, so you practically win the game this way. And of course black will find the defense from this move so far, so you don't need to do it without preparation. You don't know how to play this defense against d5, therefore you don't do it. You don't play knight with a knight. So again, oops. So you develop the bishop. Now black develop knight f6, for instance, and attack the pawn e4. In this case, you can protect with a pawn. This is good move because you also protect and also open the bishop. Bishop now c1 can move. You can also protect with knight c3, but in this case it will be an interesting trick. So knight takes the pawn, you take the pawn, and it will be d5. And if you take, your position is not good. So white has some advantage in this case because white pieces are more developed and active. However, after d5 you can play bishop d3, and after taking take, so position is equal. And in any case, you don't want to follow the lead of black, so you need to play your game. Therefore you don't want to defend the knight c3 and allow the tricks. You just play d3, it's a good move enough. Black can play d5, and you take the pawn, and after that you don't need to take the knight, or you can take it if you think it's okay. So, but even if you take, so your position is pretty much okay, playable. So, but I don't think that if the beginner play against you, he will play d5 right now. Maybe somebody would like to think that way, so he develop pieces. So right now you play knight c3, and to wait until the black actually castle, because after that you can play bishop g5. So if black play d6, you attack the knight. In that case, it will be wait, it's actually good, and because if the knight moves, so you take the queen. But if the queen moves, you take the knight, and double the pawn of black, and if black cannot castle on that side anymore, because in that case white will start attack on this black castle, because castle will not be protected well, will have a hole in the middle. For instance, if h3, so you castle and black has a hole in the middle, so black don't want to do it. So let's return back. So in this position, still, if before the castle there is a trick by black, so black play h6, attack the bishop, bishop moves to h4 to keep the pin, the knight and queen, and black plays g5, and bishop needs to move to g3, so black position becomes okay. However, and if white takes the pawn, it will be not enough compensation for the two pieces for the knight, two pawns for the knight, because black has here rook, so white cannot organize an attack on the king. So therefore we need to wait. You need to wait until the black castle. But if black castle right now, then you play bishop g5, and if black play h6, then g5, then you take the knight, take, bishop take, and now in case of d6 you basically win the knight, because knight cannot take the knight, you take the queen, so it will be just you just take the knight for nothing. Okay, check, maybe check again. Oh no, check again. Black should play here. You move for h4, and actually white has extra knight. In this position, black of course will return the bishop back, but still you play h4 and then move the, I don't know, whatever, move the king, queen to d2, castle, and then move all pieces I don't know, whatever they did. So you attack the black with your pawns and exchanging pawns and attack the king. This is an idea, and it would be good for black. This why black, it would be good for white, I mean. That's why the black will never play that way, so after h6, bishop move to h4, black will need to return with the bishop, otherwise, again, if play d6, it will be knight d5, and whatever they play, you take the knight and king will be open. So the castle of the king will be destroyed. So therefore, after this, bishop needs to return, maybe, and you still think about castle yourself. Now black played d6, and d6 the idea also to pin your knight. Bishop c8 move to g4 to pin your knight, but you prevent it by playing h3. So this is a good move. h3 is a good move because first of all it prevents the bishop moves to g4, and second, in some case, if somebody attacks the king from the first line in the middle of the game, the king have a chance to move to run away to h2. So there are some positions where your rooks and queen already move somewhere else or exchanged, and in case of attacks on the king from the first line, you can have a chance to run. Therefore, it's a good move h3, and black made this move to h6. So then, I don't know, bishop play e6. This is another last trick which I want to tell you. So basically, after bishop, if you take, so the pawn will move to the center, and then black can play d5 with attacking your side, attacking the center, and the more pieces in the center is better for black. the more pawns in the center would be better for black. Therefore, you don't need to do it. Instead of taking the bishop, you can move to a b3, and if black takes the bishop, you can play ab, and in this case you open the file a for the rook and also bring the pawn closer to the center. Okay, next, I don't know, maybe a6 to protect, and you want to attack the center yourself, so you play d4, and after exchange maybe take, you can continue developing pieces. So black try to attack too, you move the one rook to d1, another rook to e1, and try to attack the center further. This is your game. And also, if in some case black give you a chance to try to exchange, for instance d5, you have a chance to win, so you definitely would like to win that. Okay, maybe you take, and you take the knight. So basically equal, but you have an extra pawn. You win in the end extra pawn. And notice now the black has a chance to attack your first line, and you move your king on the second line. So your position is superior now. And now you will take the pawn here and probably win the game. Okay, this is what you need to know about the opening. I don't guarantee that black will play exactly like this, but you will be prepared in any way. So let's play something else. e4, and if black played d5, you still take it. So looks like your plan was changed, but you don't need to change your development. So your idea is to develop pieces. So maybe attack the queen, move, and develop now pawn into the center. So control to control the center. So he will protect. You play again. Maybe sometimes instead of bishop c4, you can play bishop d3, because after you develop pawn onto d5, so you can put the bishop to d3, which is also good. So knight f6 and bishop f4. So bishop e7, queen d2, h6. I just don't know, but you castle and you play the same way. Whatever black suggests, you play very similar way. Maybe not exactly the same, but you need to think. So two pawns d4 and e4 control the center if possible, and other pieces should be developed. So I move my knights, my bishops out, and now they can attack position of black. If black start making mistakes, so I'll just take the pawn. And the more developed my pieces, the easier to do that. Okay, this is what I wanted to tell you about the openings. And the most important idea, if you look at my position, yes, maybe the grandmaster would think, okay, this was not a very strong player who played that, but the beginner will definitely be surprised, because you develop correctly, put pieces into correct positions, and it would be difficult for the beginner to beat you. In this case, even experienced player would probably stuck playing with you 20-30 moves, because he will be able to win you. So now, for instance, we played how many moves? 8 moves already, and still position looks like equal, no loss of material, and you can play good. So maybe just try to play something. And if it takes the knight, so you will just win the queen. So if you have a chance in this case, you will easily win the game because the opponent can do blunder. If you don't do simple blunders and develop correctly, so you will be able to beat the opponent even he has some experience in the game. And right, against strong players, you will not be able to survive the entire game. You will not be able to win because you have no experience, but you will still be able to play the opening the way that like the experienced player would play. Okay, I hope you like this video. I hope this video will help you. See you next time. Bye bye.